This is Gilbert Andrew Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, talk, inspiration, and prayer. Listen to my show every Monday from 11 to 12 on KWWJ 1360 AM, KYOK 1140 AM, KCOH at 1230 KCOH.com, Sankeet Radio at 95.1 FM, 1460 AM, and Latino Sports, KEYH 850 AM. Call in at 832-570-8075 and follow me on social media. See you then.
All right, Houston, Harris County, you got me, Gilbert Garcia, with another tip from me, talk, inspiration, and prayer. And so thank you, studio audience. We got a really great show coming up today. But first, how about those Houston Texans? We're going to have to come up with our own line. How about them Houston Texans? My goodness, everyone had, thought they were going to be out, and here they are. I think they're in the driver's seats. So what do you say, Houston, Harris County? I think that this is going to be a good year for us because they happen to have probably the best defense and probably all of football or very close to it. And, of course, I want to give a shout-out to Alejandra Salinas. She, of course, is our newly elected city council person from at-large district, I believe it was 4. And so she's the one that ran against Dwight Boykins, and she beat him pretty strongly. So congratulations to her. I don't think we've heard the last of Dwight Boykins. I hope not, because he's a good public service servant. So continuing, I've got some guests here from Mission Bells, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves in a moment. But they are Vas Kenyon, Maurice Woodruff, and Albert Alva. But I want to make sure people know that they've been around now for some time. You're talking about 1984. This is not a new group. This is a group that's been really working on hunger and poverty here in Houston and Harris County for decades. And it's just a coincidence that here we are having them on the show, and there were 2 articles that came out, and one talked about that Houston is the worst city to move to in Texas. And this is in the Houston Chronicle, and it came out December 13th by Erica Grider. And, it's heartbreaking. And we Houstonians deserve and should demand better and more. And ultimately, it goes back, when you read the article, it talks about, in my view, 2 things. One, the poverty level, and the other is crime. And so the statistics are all there. And again, it's not like we just fell off the map. We've been in the low 40s for some time. And so we just now fallen to the very bottom, but we were near the bottom. And I'm just going to quote the Houston Chronicle. And this is all about what they're doing, of course, here with our organization at Mission Bells. It says here that Houston's poverty rate stands at 21.2%. It is the highest among the nation's 10 most populous cities. Now, they probably know that already, but I think a lot of us that are just everyday Houstonians probably don't really know how pervasive that problem is. The other thing that reminds me is, over Thanksgiving, there was an article in the Houston Chronicle that the headline said, "Tens of thousands of hungry Houstonians line up for the annual Thanksgiving super feast downtown." And you can see that article here. And I have volunteered there with my daughter and my son, and we have been supporters of that for many years. And of course, we supported Boris Miles when he does his wonderful, fantastic turkey giveaways. When you see people lining up for a meal, lining up for hours, it's real. In other words, some people, the callous ones, think, oh, no, it's not so bad, and they just don't want to work. That's not true. Not at all. Poverty is everywhere. And the food insecurity and poverty is really in my opinion, the foundation of some of all the ills in this society. Because if you can't eat, you're going to do whatever you got to do to survive, or you're going to just, you're not going to be able to learn at school. You're not going to be able to get a job. If you can't eat, it's the very foundation of existence. And so you got to, what's the Bible verse? You can give them a fish, or you can teach them how to fish, and they eat for a lifetime. I don't know exactly what it is, but you know what? It's powerful. And that's what it's all about. So we're going to talk a lot about this. And, of course, the other thing is there was another Houston Chronicle article that came out September 11th. And it said here, Houston now has the highest poverty rate among America's most populous cities, according to new census. And here it is right here. So Houston and Harris County, I think that we as citizens need to do our part. We've got to support these organizations that are trying to address this problem directly. There's always different ways. Again, you can give a person a fish they eat one time, or you can teach them to fish and they eat a lifetime. And so the whole thing is to, how can you first solve the hunger problem, and then how can you get them and help them rise out of, hunger, and how can you work with other organizations like Mission Bells? So let me welcome our three guests. And again, they are to my left, Voss Kenyon, Maureen Woodruff, and Albert Alva from Mission Bells. So welcome to this show. Now, did I get it all right? Or did I just depress everybody? But these are real statistics. And Houston and Harris County residents need to know, because that's the only way you can address a problem, is to acknowledge that it exists. If you don't know it exists, then you just don't know. What do you say there, my friend?
It's true. And I've been in this business since 1985, since we started this food pantry in the Presbyterian Church, in one fashion or another. And today, Houston and Harris County, for example, have 3.5 million people who are on the SNAP program.
Is that right?
3.5 million. And half of them are children. They don't have a nutritious food to eat, and many of them go hungry. And the only source for them is the public resources, where the food pantries or the government giving, or we have a lot of private foundations donating, helping us. So those are the only source. Houston, as you said, is one of the highest poverty city in the state.
Well, let me go back for 1 second. Let me give the other two members a chance to say anything. Anything you all want to chime in real quick before I go into some questions?
Yes, I think you're exactly right that the food insecurity is everywhere. And it really isn't on one side of the city. It's all over the city. We service mainly the Mission Bells area, but in Fort Bend and in Harris County. And we get people that come to us that are in all kinds of straits. Right, when they come to us and they need food, it's small families, it's larger families, it's old people, it's younger people. So the food insecurity is really epidemic, and we're trying to help in our small way, to help out with that. But yes, there is so much poverty in the city of Houston, despite everything that we do to try to help out. And Houston is a great city. We just have lots of people, and there's impoverished folks here.
Well, so this was Albert Alva talking, and Albert, you of course are a member of the board.
Yes.
How big is the board?
The board is relatively small. We have 4 members in our board, and we're able to plan all of the activities that we do. Also, with the great help of Voss, to be able to get contributions from the community in order for us to continue. So the board really is, I do operations mostly. So I'm out there with the pallet jack and I, and so that's where I concentrate on keeping everything running. Voss and Maureen definitely are outward facing, trying to help us within the community to gain more support from the community, but also to be able to reach out to folks, to be able to let them know that we're here.
Wonderful. Maureen, now you've been on the board now how long?
Just recently. I just started a couple of months ago.
What made you join?
Boss asked me.
We used to go to the same church, and she was the founder of the food pantry in 1984.
Oh, is that right?
And then the church folded, so now we're operating from a different location. And so she has a charitable background because she used to work for charities. So we thought we need somebody like her to advise us what not to do.
Right, believe me. I know some of the best lessons are what not to do. On that note, hold on. We have another question already from let me see, who was that name again?
Rodriguez.
Oh, Jesse Rodriguez. Jess, are you there?
Yes, sir, Mr. Gilbert. Good morning.
Is this Jumpin' Jess?
Yes, sir.
Jumpin' Jess, and for everyone in Houston, Harris County, Jumpin' Jess, of course, is really famous around here. He was the morning show host for Kakukuka, which was the leading Latino station for many, many years here in Houston. He was the Chorizo crew, and Jess is always involved in the community and his family. What do you got for us, any of our guests, or anything else you want to say, Jess?
Well, I'll tell everybody to wake up and smell the chorizo, is what we used to say early in the morning at the radio show. But sadly, I wanted to say about the death of Abraham Catania. I know he's a friend of your father's in the town of music business, and I know y'all are both from Corpus Christi, Texas, your hometown.
Yeah, I got so many calls about, of course, his passing, and of course, my father passed about 6 years ago, and Abraham went to school with my parents, high school, and with all my aunts. They all went to high school together, and of course, I remember my family telling me when Selena was 9 years old, Abraham brought her over to our studio and set some tracks down for her. And, he was a driving force behind Selena. There is no doubt. He had a plan, and he was ready to work, and he made the family work. Wouldn't you say, Jess?
Yes, sir. He did a good job. He was a good father, good husband, and a good manager. And he did a good job of keeping the family together, working hard, and instilling all those attributes of discipline and working hard in order to get where you're going. So he was a great man without a doubt. I wanted to bring up another issue was that we can see the people that are definitely in need of food. I went by Demerol Harbor to go vote, and there must have been out 200 people in line to get food from from their food pantry, from the other food sources. They're all there with their baskets. They're all sitting down, taking a number. So the plight or the poverty is there. You can see it at our community centers, at our parks, in our neighborhoods. And then the next thing I want to say, Gilbert, there was it's really kind of concerning you. Ivan Sanchez, a good friend of yours, made a really big comment on Facebook about Whitmire being kicked out of the Democratic Party, and the fact of the matter about his choices in supporting a few individuals that are on the Republican side or conservative side. I know it may not be a topic for us to talk about today, but I know at a later date it might be great to get Ivan on the show and talk about that.
Well, Ivan, of course, is the one who founded the Millennial Group, and he's, of course, ran for city council. I believe it was District J or K, one of those. I don't remember which exactly one. Yeah, he's everywhere. And he worked, of course, for Sheila Jackson Lee. So I saw the comment as well. And ultimately, my issue with the mayor is, what's going on with Metro. And that is that Metro has, in my view, taken a step backwards on transparency. Why they got out of the line for the federal funding to build the east-west connector between the bus rapid transit and the train line, the red line. And of course, he's using Metro money that is meant for transit that the voters voted on for 2 different referendums to get more money for Metro to complete the transit projects. And he's using it for what? For the stuff the city should be doing, like crosswalks and road repair. So that's my issue. I think a lot of other Democrats have other issues with him, and ultimately they all caught up. And we will talk about it because I think it's important for people to know. So I think that's great, Jesse. Thank you for bringing it up. What else do you have for Houston and Harris County? And by the way, one more thing that you mentioned, you talked about Demerol Harbor. Representative Christina Morales always has a bike giveaway at her office there at the funeral home. And she's always doing partnering with the food bank on food giveaways. And I have done some of those with her and sponsored some of those with her. And I will tell you, I have seen cars, Jesse, in line for free food in the car for 3 to 4 hours. I mean, I have seen it. And so
Yeah.
when people say, "Oh no, it's real," because
real.
people wouldn't be out there for 3 4 hours unless they were really, really in need. So what say you there, Jesse, about Houston, or anything else you want to say to us?
No, just one more comment, Gilbert. What you're saying about Metro, there was a front page article about Metro, and the thing you always talk about, transparency, the fact of lack of transparency with a new program called Evolve, which is for the connections within Second Ward, Third Ward, and the Heights. This new program they have for electrical wagons, and it went from $100,000 program to a $6 million program. And the board member, or Miss Brock, she who was the head of Metro, was on the board for Evolve. And Charles Blaine said it's definitely a big conflict of interest. So you might want to pick up the paper.
Boy, I'm gonna get that, because when I was on Metro,
So you might want to follow up on that.
yeah, I used to be chairman of Metro, just so y'all know, and I would make sure we did no business, my firm, not only with Metro, but because when I was on Metro, I made sure we did no business with the county, the city, you name it, because I wanted no conflicts of interest. And even to this day, because we are so close to them, we make sure we don't have any conflicts, we don't manage any money for them. In contrast, I saw one of the, I think it was the Midtown TERS, one of the TERS is, and there was a big article about them. And when you see all the conflicts, it's just terrible. And I don't know how it can happen. And when people say, "I don't know how we hired this vendor," there's something wrong. They should all be replaced, if you want my opinion. Houston, Harris County, there you go. Well, Jess, thank you for calling in, and we really appreciate you, pal.
Well, thank you, Gilbert.
Thank you, my friend. I have another caller here, team. Let's not go anywhere. Jordan, are you there? Is there a Jordan there? Okay. Jordan, feel free to call back. We may have a technical difficulty because of my producers looking lost. Jordan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Jordan, you got me. And, of course, you got Mission Bells. And what do you have for us? Or what do you want to say to Houston and Harris County?
Yes, I just had a question for Mission Bells. If they could give us any resources on how to donate or help out, whether that be, donating food at the food pantry or just being there helping pack up food or giving out. But if they could give us that information to help.
I tell you what, Jordan, stay on the line if you don't mind. Stay on the line, because I'm going to let them answer, but I want to give them the opportunity before they answer to give some facts about Mission Bells. So, for example, how many people do you now service? How many people are you, for lack of a better word, providing foods for?
North of 250.
Excuse me?
About 250 average.
About 250.
Twice per week.
Twice per week. Excuse me. Twice per week.
Right, so about 500 families per week.
A week.
Oh, how wonderful! And who have you getting your food from? Is it from Houston Food Bank?
We get some from Houston Food Bank, then we get a lot of them from other sources, from the Kroger grocery store, HEB. We also get the support from the Second Blessing. They have their own sources, and they donate it to us.
Oh, how wonderful! And so let me ask you this: and how do people sign up? How do you find people that know to find out they can get food or support from Mission Bells? I mean, how are you finding them?
Sure. So actually, we're getting a lot of different ways that people find us, right? And so word of mouth is certainly one.
And by the way, we're going through your website producer,
great.
please keep going through that website.
So our webpage also, missionbells.org, also shows all of the activities that we provide and services that we provide, and also gives them a place to start the sign-up process. So we get them, folks coming from this to the website. We also are part of United Way, And so we're
great.
And on the Houston Food Bank side as well, if you put in your zip code, it'll give you a list of pantries that are in your area, and we're on that list as well.
Oh, how wonderful.
So there's many ways that the public can find us, but word of mouth, it does happen a lot.
And have you seen the number of need grow in the last 2-3 years? I mean, what do the numbers look like? I mean, are you overwhelmed now, or what's happening?
Yeah, so I would say that historically when we first started, we were like a walk-up service, right? So they would come in, and we were serving about 40 families per week, right? Not many families at all.
Prior to COVID.
Then COVID hit, come 2020. So now we changed our delivery method to drive-through. The food bank allowed us to allow people to come in anonymously, so we didn't have to register them. So it was a very quick service, right? They would just get in line, and we would give them the food. And so we went up to over 200, from the 40 to over 200 families in those 2 days. We also have, the masks were required during that time, so all of our volunteers were having to socially distance and work at risk from COVID, from getting it from our members. And also the food was really open during that time, right? Because so many people were in need. All of the stores were closed. Nobody could go anywhere. And so we were allowed to stay open, and we were seeing hundreds of people during our time because of their need and nothing else out there.
Wow. So let me ask you this. Is it a hot meal, or these like sandwiches?
No, groceries.
Groceries.
Right.
Yeah,
I
basically
see.
we get the same thing you can buy from H-E-B or Kroger, canned food, meat, and also produce. So it's plain groceries. We give approximately 30 to 40 pounds of food to everybody.
Oh, how wonderful. I can't visualize what 40 pounds of food looks like. Is that like 2 bags?
It's small.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't sound big.
So the 40
But
pounds.
I'm not belittling what y'all doing, because
No.
I mean, it's a lot. But
Yes.
the point is that like 2 grocery bags?
It would be pretty much one grocery bag
bag.
with canned goods and dried goods in it. Then we also get meat from several sources, and so we would provide meat as well. And when we get dairy, and we do get dairy often, we provide the dairy as well.
Milk we give.
We get our food primarily from the Houston Food Bank, but we have many sources. The local grocery stores contribute. H-E-B, Kroger's, Sprouts, all 3 of them contribute to us. Also, the local restaurants, we have Olive Garden, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and Chick-fil-A that provide to us as well.
Chick-fil-A.
And so we do have a lot of sources to try to give as much food as we can, because unfortunately the food bank is under the constraints that the government allows, that gives them the food, and sometimes they're a little short. So we definitely make up for it from the community.
Well, I know Lisa Helfman over at H-E-B, and I know how much they do. Yeah. And she started that group, Brighter Bikes, or Lighter Bikes. I don't remember exactly the name. At the end of the day, I know about it. It's fantastic, and she's always helping. They now have that organization all over the country. And so she's like an angel. Lisa, if you're out there, you're an angel, because she's always helping people, and she's really got an H-E-B to do that. So, Jordan, let's now answer your question. So if someone wanted to volunteer or give money, how would they do it? And do you have a lot of volunteers? Because when you get the produce and all this sort of things, you got to sack them and this and that, right? It's not like you just here it is, here's a stack of carrots.
To volunteer, there are 2 ways. They can just if they go into our website, then they can send an email saying they want to volunteer. There's an email address there, and then we'll get in touch with her and say what her interests are, because they can do several things.
Okay, I think we're looking at it right now.
Yeah, when she want to do for the donation, there is a support us. If you click on that support us, then it'll give you the procedure what to do.
Let's go to support us. Let me see if I can give a contribution right now. Let's test it out, Houston, Harris County. Give money. All right, so let's go. Can you find that?
If you click on the support us, okay.
Click on support us. Anybody?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Go
to that diamond there. I see the word diamond. So then I'm going to give you my card there, producer, and let's see if we can make a diamond contribution right now. Are you ready? Hope you get that over there. We're going to make that contribution. Let's see how easy this is.
Thank you so much.
This is a test. Of course, don't put my number out there. I remember I'm a CNBC contributor, and I remember being on TV, and the Chronicle had labeled me the Bond King of Texas, right?
Yeah.
And so they said on CNBC, said, I hear you're the Bond King of Texas. I said, well, I don't know about that, but my wife says I'm not the Bond King of 4030 Durness Way, and that's my address. And I got a call from my wife within like 5 minutes. What are you doing giving our address out on national TV? And Dee Dee, I love you, of course, you know that. So let's see. Oh boy, this is going to take some time. We're going to go through it. Let's keep going, and let me know when it's a send. Jordan, did I lose you already? We may have lost Jordan, but that's okay. So she can volunteer on the website. And how many volunteers do you get, would you say, through a cycle?
Maybe around 2 or 3 a week.
Okay, good. They all matter.
They all matter.
They all matter. And
but some of them stay in, some of them,
That's right.
Most of them are students. They're there to get their volunteer credits.
Yeah. They need the credits. Well, you know what, students? If there's ever such a good thing to get a credit and get or credits for your service hours, it's Mission Bells, because they need you. And you know what? Houston and Harris County, the folks need you. So let's keep going. So people can give money online. We're still trying to work that out. My producer's doing that. He's typing it all in. And you can volunteer. That's pretty good. And if you are a new store, how could you partner with Mission Bells?
They can call us.
Yep.
There's a number there.
What's the number? Let's get that number out there, up there. Well, we're going to figure that out too. Okay. We're going to get it all.
The number is 281 850 0213.
0213. Mm-hmm. So there you had it there. So we're going to keep going till we get this money in there. And do we have another caller there, Mr. Producer? Who was that caller? Is it Bobby? Bobby, are you there, Bobby?
Hey, Gilbert. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you great. We're talking about hunger. We're talking about Houston, Harris County. And we're not happy with it having the highest poverty rate among most populous cities. And we're not happy with it in, all the things, the worst city to move into from Texas. I mean, my goodness, Bobby, let's make it better. What do you got for us today?
Well, I just want to say, anointed man of honor to Gilbert. I know. You just like when Jesus went to the temple and through transparency, he began to look at what the money changers were doing in the temple. I was glad to hear you say, you're very careful that your good work don't be evil spoken of. But get what though, Gilbert?
Talk to me.
And mission Bell. Men cannot live on bread alone.
Yep.
Thank you, Big Gilbert.
Thank you for calling in, Bobby. I think what he's trying to say is we need all the help we can get, because man and woman cannot live on bread alone. And my goodness, you need a full balanced diet. And that's what y'all do, because you have meat, I heard you say, produce, I heard you say, canned goods, I heard you say, dry goods, I heard you say. That's right. Essentially everything. That's just fantastic. So let me ask you this. I want to go through, Vas, what made you start this?
It was started by the church women in the Presbyterian church. And
you remember the church, I guess?
Yeah, I went to the church.
Okay.
So the church started in 1984. I went to the church in 1985. I moved to Houston from Tennessee to work for Brown Road at that time. And so I lived in Mission Bend. So I joined the church close to my home. And they were doing this food pantry. So I was volunteering to handing out food. But then in 2013, the food pantry, the church closed because of economic issues. So I took over and moved over to a different church. We are now working with the Episcopal Church. and they were kind enough to let us in. So now we are there for the last 11 years in that same church.
But what made you, when you were young, Voss, and you look young to me, but when you were young, Voss, did you ever think that one day you're going to be going and doing a lot of service work and helping people? I mean, what motivated you?
I come from a family who did service all the time. My parents were.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to, I know hunger. I come from India. I know hunger. And so I wanted to help to alleviate hunger and also help people to be better themselves. Hundreds of people helped me in my life. So I want to return the favor.
You know what? You're another angel as well, because that's what it takes. It takes one person. And I remember George Bush talking about 1,000 points of light. Everybody knows I'm a Democrat, but you got to give credit when credit is due. And what he really meant by 1,000 points of light is all these different nonprofits throughout the country that are trying to do things for people and humanity. And that's what you are. And that's what Mission Bells is. I think that's beautiful. So let me go back. So, Maureen, what got you involved? Oh, well, hold that thought. I'm going to come back to you, Maureen, if you don't mind, because we have another caller. Is there a Lauren there?
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
Lauren, you got me, Gilbert Garcia, with a tip from me, talk, inspiration, and prayer. And we're here. We're talking about hunger here in Houston. We're talking about poverty. We're talking with Mission Bells. They service Fort Bend and some other areas, doing food, essentially support, giveaway. Giveaway doesn't sound right, but really food help and support for those that are food insecure. What do you got for us, Lauren?
So I was wondering if you guys accept donations apart from food. So donations such as hygiene products or clothes or maybe toys.
Oh, that's
or is it just food at the moment?
That's interesting. So what other things do you give away as, and I don't like the term giveaway, but what other support do you give? Toys, clothing, diapers, Pampers.
We give diapers when we get diapers from some, but we do not give clothes because we have no room to store them. Our main problem is the space. We're trying to get our own space so we can do other things, but right now all we are focused on food, but diaper is one of the food item because we get periodically diaper from Houston Food Bank and also other sources.
Very, very good. Well, Lauren, so it sounds like there's still things you can do, but ultimately they really are about food insecurities, and anything that is an offshoot of that, they're willing to distribute and help others. So, Lauren, hopefully that answers your question. And Lauren, tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you doing to help out there in the universe?
So I'm in college. I like to donate, and I volunteer my time with my sorority sisters. We volunteer frequently at the Houston Food Bank, and sometimes our university will have some pop-ups as well. So we like to spend our time however we can helping those that are less fortunate. It's our way that we like to give back to the community.
You know what? That is beautiful to hear. And hopefully that means that somewhere in your life, somebody touched you and gave you that as an example, whether it's your parents or something else. So I think that's wonderful. Uh-oh, I somehow may have lost my hearing. There we go. It's back. Lauren, so thank you for calling in. Anything else you want to say to our guests?
I think what y'all do is truly wonderful, and it's really appreciated by those that are underserved in the community, and y'all inspire everyone of all ages, of all genders to give back. So it's really appreciated. Thank you, guys.
Lauren, thank you for calling in. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for what you and your sorority sisters do, because you're changing the world. So thank you very, very much. So let's continue. So let's go back. You're welcome. So Maureen, what motivated you? So you've been in the nonprofit space for some time. What was young Maureen doing that said when you were walking the hall? Are you a Houstonian?
I've been here almost 50 years.
Okay, well you're a Houstonian now, but when you were in high school or something, or elementary school, what motivated you? Did you know you were going to do nonprofit work? Did you know you were going to help others?
No, you don't think about that, but my parents were always very active in the church and volunteered and everything you could think of. So I grew up around volunteers, and I've always attended Presbyterian churches, and so there's usually some kind of mission that the churches will do. And so Boss and I went to the same church, and then the church dissolved and I went to a different church, and then I retired a couple of years ago, and I said, oh, I have all this time, I'm an accountant, and so that's a skill that not everybody has.
Right.
And so
Not everybody has, but everyone needs one somewhere.
boy, do they.
Yes, yes.
Boy, do they.
But
And so Voss and I had kept in touch, and so Voss said he really wants to expand what the food pantry's doing, and he knows that the more people he can get and get different qualities of experience. I worked with a nonprofit, and so not in food pantry, but it's the same concept. And so when he asked me to join, I said, okay, I have the time, and I think I might be able to help. And so I'm learning a lot. It's a very interesting business, and Voss has a lot of great ideas. Albert and the board members all want to do more than they can. It's just, it's money and volunteers.
And you know what? And that's what it always is, money and volunteers. And you know, it's staggering when you think about some of the wealth that exists in this country, and yet it's so difficult for some of these great organizations like Mission Bells to really get support, financial support, et cetera, to do all the good, because there's so much need in Houston and Harris County, probably just worldwide. You talked about India. There's just so much need.
That's right.
Everywhere. So my goodness, so praise the Lord for what you're doing and your parents. And so for all of you who are out there listening that are parents, it begins with you, because all your seed corn and your kids, you know, we're the model for them. And if we can show them the model of giving back, supporting others, helping people along the way, they're going to replicate that going forward. So remember that. And Mr. Producer, did we get, I'll get there real quick. Did we get that donation done or no? Well, we're still working on it.
There's a problem with that, yeah.
Okay, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're gonna. I'm good for it, as they say, and you know where to find me on all these radio stations: KWWJ, KYOK, KCOH, Latino Sports, and Saint Geek Radio. You know where to find me. So let's go back to Katie. Katie, are you there?
Hi.
Hello,
Yes, I am.
Katie. You got me, Gilbert Garcia, with a tip from me. Talk, inspiration, and prayer. What do you got for me or for any of our guests?
I had a question for the people from Mission Bells. I was wondering, with it being a food pantry, is there any kind of like eligibility requirements someone has to meet in order to be able to go and get food from them?
Oh, very good. So that's really, and I'll give another part to that question if you don't mind, Katie. Number one, to be a volunteer, is there anything that they need to sign up for or training or anything? And to be someone to get support, do they go through any training? Do you figure out, you know, do they have to have ID or things like that? So on both sides, what's required?
So I can talk about the volunteers, certainly.
Sure.
The volunteers, we welcome anyone that can come, young or old. And even if they don't feel like they can physically contribute a lot, we have lots of jobs that all the whole scale of physicality, if you will. We have people that can do intake. We have folks that do bags, sack bags. We have folks that a little stronger that can do pallets.
That can do computer work.
So and,
Yeah,
and,
oh, yeah.
and so it doesn't. We don't have any requirements for volunteers other than wanting to come. We do screen our volunteers so we can be sure that we're safe and everyone is safe. But as far as anyone that wants to come to volunteer, there's no age requirement. If they're under 16, we do ask that their parents come with them. But other than that, anyone that would like to come and help us, we welcome them to come.
What about a new family that wants to be part of the whole support system? What's required of them? Do they have to show IDs or anything of that nature? You know, in these times, people, you know, it's difficult these times.
No, they don't need to show ID, but they need to provide their names and the phone number and where they live.
Okay, so and that's it.
So yeah, so the Houston Food Bank, we have to follow the Houston Food Bank guidelines in terms of eligibility, right? And so they do have some guidelines, income guidelines, but it shouldn't stop a person from coming to try to register, because the income guidelines are because the Houston Food Bank has a program called the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and they require all of that, all of the eligibility. But so it's partly their income. But if a person has any type of assistance that they're receiving, whether it's TANF, Medicaid, SNAP, that automatically qualifies a person to be able to get the services. So I say that, but I also wanted to say that it shouldn't stop somebody from seeking, because we have, as you can see, we get food from many places other than just the food bank, right? And so, though the TANF does require that there's some income not verification, but income requirements, it's not the gist of what we have. So, to the caller, I would say that go and register. Come and register. Come to our website and register. You can go to the food bank and get more information there. We're not about turning people away. We're about feeding people. That's really what we want to do. And so anyone that needs it should come.
So it's not a tell me why I can't, but help me figure out how I can.
Yeah.
I love that sort of mentality. We need more of that everywhere.
Once they apply, when they come, they're going to come there on a Wednesday to get the card. We will work with them somehow and try to give them the help they need.
Wonderful. Katie, are you still there, Katie?
Yes, hi, I'm still here.
Okay, any other follow-up you have? Hopefully that made sense to you, that the requirements are pretty low bar because they want to help. That's the bottom line they're saying here, is they want to help. Don't let things stop you. They'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. What do you got for us? Anything else, Katie?
No, that answered my question perfectly. Thank you so much for the information.
Thank you for calling. So, of course, we're here with Mission Bells, and I just want to give everyone an update that next week on the 22nd, I'm going to be with Father Murphy of St. Thomas High School, and we're going to be singing Christmas carols. Now, I know you're probably scared thinking, that Garcia guy's going to sing? Well, you know what? I am. But I know, even my studio audience went ow. My studio audience went, ow. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the whole thing is he's a great singer. I don't know the things about tenor versus this or that, but you know what? He's a great singer. And then we're going to have Jarvis Johnson on the 29th. And, of course, he's running for CD 29, Congressional District 29. And, of course, we're going to have someone from Metro July 5th. I've got another candidate, Morris, there on the 12th. And then we got Raquel Marjorn, who's, of course, running for Harris County Commissioner. We've got a full slate. And, of course, we all know that late January we're going to have the runoff for Cedar Jackson Lee's unexpired term. So there's going to be a lot of action there. So the one thing that just struck with me, Albert, and, of course, I hope you don't mind, I feel like I know you already, is you got a good radio voice.
Thank you.
Has anyone ever told you that? Yeah, come on, go ahead and say it. Everyone tells you. Just say it.
So in another life, I used to be a radio operator.
There you go.
When I was in the Army.
See, did I not know? Okay, so. I want to ask you one big favor. Okay, so
sure.
you got to humor me. So just repeat after me, Luke.
I
am your father.
I am your father.
There you go. I mean, come on. You got that charisma and the voice that launched 1,000, ships in the evil empire, of course. But of course, you're not the evil empire. But Luke, I am your father. Thank you for that. So let me go back to you, since you're on the hot seat.
Sure.
How did you get involved with all this? How did you really? Someone had to have touched you when you were, young and middle school or something, that said your life's mission or part of your mission is going to be to do public service, because obviously it's a big part of your time. Who was that, and how was that?
Interesting question. So I started out with the food pantry during COVID, because there was nothing open. There were no stores open. There was nowhere we could go for food.
Right.
And I have family, and so we needed food. And I found out about the food pantry. So they helped me and my family during COVID when everything was closed. Kind of to back up to answer the question about my history, I I think only recently I've become more focused on the community because my family really needed me to be focused on income. Right. But during the COVID time, perfect storm happened. I got an eye injury with detached retina. I'm a data analyst. I used to be. And so I was out of work for quite a long time when I was trying to recover from that. And luckily, I'm at a point where with my family and my wife that I can continue to do this and not have to go back and work. So I haven't been working since COVID. I've been strictly doing this. My family is doing fine. We kind of prepared for getting old. I'm a little old now, and so I'm really here. I found the giving part even through scouts, starting in scouting. I loved working with kids, but when I saw what the food pantry was doing and what the people were so grateful, I had to be part of it. And I just stayed.
That's so wonderful. What a great story. All of you have similar stories. They're different, but yet there's a common bond of really trying to help others. And it's such a kind heart. It's kind of like the Grinch when his heart grew 2 sizes too big.
I would say that.
You know what I mean? Remember your heart grew real big? His heart. That's a beautiful story. Well, let me ask you something, because you keep using, in all of you, the word food pantry. Explain to me the difference between the food pantry and the food bank. Just what's that difference? Because I don't really know what the food pantry is.
A food pantry distributes to the people. It's the first step of donation. Food bank gives the food pantry a wholesale basis of the food. They donate the food. Food bank comes under the Feed America. Feed America is the top dog. And then all the food banks in this country work under the Feed America. They get the donation from Feed America. And food banks donate the food to the food pantries.
And how many food pantries are there?
In Houston, under the Houston Food Bank, 3,600.
What?
3,600.
Pantries in Houston.
Come on.
Under Houston Food Bank.
And all of those food pantries, 3,600, they are all serving about how many organizations like Mission Bells? It's got to be thousands.
There are small and there are big. There are food pantries open only 1 day a week for 1 hour. And there are food pantries open every day. So there are various types. So not all of them are large size. We are one of the large size.
Wow.
Yeah, we give up 1 million pounds last year, up to 150,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine 1 million pounds. I mean, other than it's a lot.
It is a lot of food.
Well, let me ask you this, Voss, because I want to go back to something you said, which is the amount of poverty. Well, I won't be able to get it right, but the amount of people in food insecurity. No, I know what you said now. SNAP benefits. Of course, that's essentially the food stamps.
Food stamps, supplementary.
Yes, that's what we used to call it when we were young. And so SNAP benefits, you said there were how many people in Harris County?
3.5 million.
3.5 million people.
Yeah.
That is staggering. And to think that they want to do away with SNAP benefits and all these sorts of things right now, that's just so...
counter.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to say it's cruel, but it's cruel. Wow, that's staggering.
Yeah. When the government shut down, they cut the SNAP program off. So a lot of people could not have any other source of finding food. And fortunately, we have some good private trust and donations, like George, who gave us the money, so we can buy and give the food to the people. So George Foundation, for example, gave us money, so we bought food on a bulk basis. We were able to survive there.
Wow. Those numbers are staggering. I guess did not know the extent of the need. But then again, when you see these things like has the highest poverty rate among Houston's most popular cities, I mean, yeah, it's real. Tens of thousands of hungry custodians line up for the annual Thanksgiving super feast. Yeah, it's real. Well, where do we go from here, you think, Voss? I mean, What's the plan for? And Jose Vega, I thank you. He said, awesome podcast. Y'all aren't able to see, but there's all kinds of things up here. Hannah, thank you when you said donating for to kids' meals, etc. Thank you all for all your text messages that are coming in right now. Evangelist Arshad, great job. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for that, Mr. Evangelist Arshad. But let's go back. What's the future?
Well, I think the poverty, we need to do whatever is required for people to get out of their poverty. Education is very important.
But what's the future for Mission Bells? In other words, is the first step we need another bigger space? Is the first step we need to? You know what? I think I have a thing. Let me have that real quick. Toss that to me. I don't know if you can zoom into this, Mr. Producer, but Robert's going to go through this real quick with us. I see DREAM. I see financial literacy. I see language training. I see food pantry. I see elderly care center, and I see community center, and it's all talking about dedicated to empowering individuals to overcome poverty and enhance the quality of their life. Tell us about this whole circle of this nexus. Go ahead, run me through this.
So I'll talk about this because this is Voss's dream, right? And so Voss's dream is to help people to get out of poverty, understanding that it's not just the food, it's education, it's helping with jobs, it's helping with language. So our dream is to have a community center where we can bring in people to reach or to empower them to get out from under poverty, to be able to live their own lives, to make their own money, to have their own self-respect, and be able to contribute to the community, but also to enhance their quality of lives, right? There's so many elderly people out there that stay home and they're by themselves in their house and nobody sees them. Mm-hmm. My daughter works with elderly people, and some of the people she works with, she's the only people they see in a week, and they're in their homes. And so for them to be able to come to a community center and be with other people and just hang out, right? So
I mean, you need human interaction. You just need it.
Yeah.
You need love, support, conversation. You need all of those things.
That's
I totally
right.
100% get it.
Yep.
Well, I didn't realize that, Voss, this is your dream. Tell us about it. And how did you come up with this? Just one day, you were scribbling on a piece of paper and you just drew this. I mean, people say Southwest Airlines started, I forgot, over coffee with two people, Herb and I forgot the other, and they just drew on a napkin, and they just drew Houston, San Antonio, Austin, and said, God, if we could just connect these, we could build an airline, and here it is. I mean, how did you come up with this?
If you look at it, we're the richest country in the world, but we shouldn't be having a...
You stay there, Mr. Producer. I'm coming to you with my thing there. Actually, no, you come to me. There you go. There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah. We are the richest country in the world. We have people who don't have food and go to bed hungry. Children, older people. The reason is it's not all lack of food. This is lack of the resources so they can live a decent life.
Yeah, we have the food.
We have the
It's
food,
about
but we
getting
are
the
not
food to
distributing.
the people.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
are not giving them to the people, and the thing is, nobody wants to get anything free, but the best way to do that, live their life all together, so they can provide for themselves.
I had Mr. Brian Green from Food Bank here, and I was amazed when he talked about food waste and how much food is wasted. And the whole key is, how do you get the food and keep it from being wasted and get it to the people?
Yeah.
So I'm going to just write this. Don't move there.
Yeah, Brian he does a fantastic job.
Oh, he's a prince.
Yeah.
This is Voss's dream. I just wrote that in there. I don't see that. It says Voss is there. That's his dream. Tell us about this dream.
Well, I grew up with my parents in India, where
Tell us about India, because people that are Americans that haven't really traveled. Tell about how widespread is poverty in India.
Well, that India is, compared to the United States, maybe 10 times more the poverty. With the most populous country in the world, right next to China,
Right.
and then there are people all over the villages and things uneducated. So that's one of the main. Education is the most important thing in life. That's what it lifts you up. That's what my parents instilled in me. Education, education, education. Fortunately, I have a doctor's degree, and so I was able to come over here, go to Minnesota, University of Minnesota, get educated, get a job, and so helping other people is the way I want to spend my life.
Wow. And what a great calling. Well, let me ask you this. Have you been back to India?
Several times.
And has it changed? Is it changing?
A lot.
Right? It's becoming, but I guess it's almost like here in the States or here in Houston where you have such great wealth and you have such great poverty. Is that kind of what's happening there too? The same thing?
No, India is not the same. India is probably more prosperous today than the United States is. We don't have this kind of politics there. So that really is a lot more peaceful,
Well, hold on, because we have another caller here. Is there a Teresa there? I want to make sure I get in this caller, because I think she's been waiting a little bit. I didn't see that name. Teresa, are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
Teresa, you got me. A tip from me. Talk, Inspiration, and Prayer with Gilbert Garcia. And by the way, I got to get this in, because when I'm hungry, I go to Laredo Taqueria, right? And I got to say it because they're some of my friends, and people say, well, you always plug them. And I mean, are they paying you? Of course they're not paying me. But you know what they do every now and then? They'll send me some tacos now and then. and that's better than getting paid some money for advertisement. But Laredo Taqueria, they got the best kind of asada in town. Go back, Teresa. What do you got for us?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if there's anything like the listeners might be unintentionally doing to contribute to food waste. How would you guys better help with that?
Well, I'm going to let them answer, but I can tell you this. I'm a lot more aware these days, and when I go to places, I'm always amazed at how much plastic we throw away. I mean, every time I go eat at something, they'll serve it in plasticware, plastic straws, plastic. And you know what? That stuff, you know where it winds up? In the ocean. It winds up in the ocean because ultimately it doesn't really make its way into the landfills. And even then, if it goes to the landfill, it's going to take how many thousands of years for it to decompose. It ends up in the oceans. And it ends up in our marine life. All the little bitty plastic little pieces. And so, but let's ask the experts here, what are we doing inadvertently or accidentally to contribute to this food waste? Anything come to your mind?
So when we're talking about food waste, we're mainly talking about the inability to get the food to people that need to eat it, right? And so not much for the consumers after they buy the food that they might waste it by making too many portions. This is more talking about having a whole field worth of produce that goes bad in a truck because they can't get it to the market, right? And so there's so much of that produce, meat, dairy, everything is got a shelf life, and there's so much wasted because we can't get that from the source to the consumer. And so for lots of reasons, mainly I think one reason is because people don't buy it. So the money is the problem, and if people bought it, then they would send it to them. But farmers might sometimes have to have their fields go under because they can't sell it. So there's lots of places for the food waste. The point is really not being able to the food to the consumer before it goes bad.
Well, one thing's for sure, Mission Bells is doing their part and then some. So please, Houston, Harris County, support them. And I sure did. Did my contribution go through?
I need to work on it. I don't know why it's not working.
Oh, that's okay. I think my contribution went through. Did it go through?
I think it did.
Oh, no, it did not. But it's going to go through, I promise, because they know where I am. And so this is Gilbert Garcia with a tip for me saying, again, I want to thank my guests, Voss Kenyon, Maureen Woodruff, Albert Alva, and thank you for doing your voice. You have a fantastic voice, much better than mine. And then, of course, I want to make sure everyone knows that we're going to have Father Murphy next week. We're going to sing some Christmas tunes because, boy, do we need a little bit of Christmas spirit in this crazy world we live in. We're going to have Jarvis Johnson to talk a little bit about CD29. We're going to talk Metro after that on January 5th. Then I got Mr. Danny Morris. And then we got Raquel Bajon, who's running for Harris County Commissioner and Houston Harris County. Remember one thing. You got to vote. And like my mom always said, if you don't vote, don't complain. So at the end of the day, this is Gilbert Garcia. Please support Mission Bells, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Houston, Harris County, this is Gilbert Garcia of A Tip from Gilbert, Talk, Inspiration, and Prayer. We're going to now be on television. We will air every Saturday on Comcast 17, AT&T Channel 99, Phonoscope Channel 96, Suddenlink 99, and also hmstv.org. Every new episode every Saturday at 7 p.m. And follow me on social media. See you then.